Hi YouTube, this is the second part of how I learn foreign languages, well, my daily routine when it comes to learning foreign languages, and it's not so complicated. In the previous video I was talking about how to manage to learn every day, well, find time, and another, like, when you are washing the dishes you can listen to MP3, your MP3 player. When you're I don't know, when you're cleaning up your room, or when you're just cleaning, you can listen. When you are driving, now it's maybe dangerous. When you're, let's say, what do you do every day and you can listen, you don't have to have a special attention doing this thing. For example, let's say, I don't know, when you are walking, to work, when you're walking to school. And I take public transportation, so I use this time to study foreign languages. I don't really study foreign languages at home because I don't have time to do so. And this was about time. And then now I was talking about how I go about learning languages. There is a logical order. So the first step is always to listen, and the best thing is to download somewhere Pimsleur, and to listen to Pimsleur. I was explaining, and then from the dialogue they take sentences and they break it down, and they help you with pronunciation, and then they tell you the meaning of each word, and then they put you into a situation where you have to respond to the question. For example, the native speaker is talking about what do you want to drink, and you have to say, for example, I want to have a cup of tea, or something like this, and you will put those words in practice, and you will practice to pronounce and to say those words and those sentences all together without any grammar. So you are kind of understanding the basics of the language without any grammar. And this is how it works, because when you were a child, you didn't learn any grammar before you were able to speak the language. So this is the natural approach. Grammar is for later. It does help, but later, not at the initial stage. And then when I finish Pimsleur, once is enough. I think you don't have to get everything right, but it's the best way to start a language, Pimsleur. And when you are done with Pimsleur, let's say you are at maybe 5% of your language learning process, because it's just the beginning. And I wanted also to make a comparison between Pimsleur and Michel Thomas. I don't like Michel Thomas. I hate Michel Thomas. And I will tell you why. Because Michel Thomas is like, you are put into a situation where you have English native speakers or French native speakers who are also learning the target language. So if you're learning, let's say, Japanese, and they put also beginners with you, and you are forced to listen to someone who make mistakes and hesitates when he has to answer questions, and you listen to a bad accent, you will develop bad abilities. So you always have to listen to native speakers. This is why I don't like Michel Thomas, because it mixes native and non-native speakers, and I don't like this. I want just native speaker at the initial stage. This is very important for your accent, because if you don't listen, you will have a weird accent. Okay, this is how you get, well, um, my accents in all languages are not perfect, even in French, because I mean, I have a Belgian accent when I speak French, which is normal because I was born in Belgium. But let's talk about how to tend to native accent. This is a personal choice. I chose to tend to. I mean, like 70 to 80% has to be like a native speaker. Some words you don't know how to pronounce them, so it's you will put the stress at the wrong part of the word, but this is not the problem. And then, okay, let's talk about how to tend to native accent. Tend to native accent is not so difficult if you listen over and over, and you don't try to read. Don't read if you don't know how to pronounce. You have to have the recordings next to you and listen to it once, twice, 15 times before you look at the book 15 times. And then when you are ready, okay, your ears are feeling they are feeling okay, the sounds should be like this, and you are ready after 15 times. You can open the book and look and make sense of what you're actually hearing. And then when you make sense of what you're reading with the translations, of course, you can just let the CD play once, and you glance at the book, and then the second time you will just let him say one sentence, hit the pause button, you repeat the sentence, and this is for each sentence. I use it for with ASML. So this is ASML Japanese with ease, a French version, but you can get the English version if you're native English speaker. I'm not native English speaker. I never speak English in my daily life except when I talk to you guys on YouTube. So this is why I don't speak very good English. I never lived in an English speaking country, but at least I can communicate with you, so it's cool. And yeah, so I use the ASML method at the beginning, and yeah, this, for example, this is a text. I will listen to it 15 times before I open the book. The 16th time I will open the book and listen, and let it play until the end, and then make sense of what I'm reading. And then I will let it play once and just hit the pause button and repeat what they said each sentence like this. And then after, I will read it and I know how to pronounce it right. I will not make pronunciation mistakes because I already know how to read. I'm not guessing how to read. This is why people have strong accents. They try to read German or French without knowing how to pronounce words. They should listen first and then try to read. This is a big point in pronunciation. But if your goal is to communicate and not tend to native accent, okay, you can read without listening, but this is not a good idea because when you listen, you learn a lot. You learn your own language by listening to your parents, so it's normal to listen. This is the first stage. Okay, all this video was about listening, and the third part is about how to learn in a funny way. But in order to learn in a funny way a language, you should have an intermediate level. And then in the next video, I will introduce to you my system, how I learn Japanese in an interesting way. And I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you in the third part.